The year is 2025. Ramos has ended Salah's career with a judo throw in the repeat of the Champions League final. Lovren has since won every Ballon d'Or and is officially known as the greatest defender to have ever lived. He even defended planet Earth from an alien invasion. Welcome, ladies and gents, to another Pro Evolution Soccer 2019 video. This is something slightly different. So the year is 2025 in my Master League, as you can see at the top there. And basically all I've done is brought some players together that you may want to look at and maybe sign when they're young, so you can sort of see there how they actually develop at other clubs. Obviously, players will develop at your club faster, but this is just a nice marker that you can sort of judge players by. So starting off, right? So basically, I've pulled together a list of players. Not all the best players I've put in this side, but just to look at some of the older players as well to see how they've developed, and also some of the younger players. So starting off with Sarr, as you can see, he's a left wing forward. He's got really good speed and explosive power and dribbling, all key attributes. But you notice his player skills. You could probably do with some scissor feints and some Marseille turns just to give him that added effectiveness. His ball control is only 83, so he's not going to be able to perform the skills all that well. But for a left wing forward, I think he's got some really good stats there. Some nice low pass and a decent lofted pass as well, so something to consider. Then we got Paulinho. So he's really good as well. Explosive power, high speed as well. Dribbling and ball control this time. So he's going to be a bit more adept at doing skills. However, his form is slightly worse than Sarr's. But he's got some decent skills there. Sombrero, cutting behind, step on skill. But I would probably add like scissor feint and Marseille turn to that list. Then Iniesta, fantastic. Absolute brilliant midfielder. I had him at Feyenoord, as you can see there. He's got his Feyenoord shirt on. And look at that ball control. He's got no problems receiving the ball under pressure. That dribbling and low pass, absolutely devastating. Totally controls the games from midfield. Ryan Sessegnon, he can play left back or left wing forward. He's got really good speed, explosive power, unwavering balance, good ball control as well, and that high stamina. So he's happy running up and down that line, and he's also got really good form. And that's a really key stat when you're actually looking to buy players, because it means he's going to be able to feature in your team far more often. So definitely one to look out for. You may want to train some player skills, maybe just a scissor feint, just to help him run down the wing and beat a defender or two. Carlos Soler. So he's not got the greatest speed for a winger or explosive power. However, he's got stats in really other good positions as well. Unwavering balance means he's going to be able to stay on his feet when under pressure, and also deliver good quality low passes and lofted passes. You can see there with the 90 stats. And then excellent ball control again. So I would recommend like him playing as a false winger, just to tuck him in, maybe in a diamond 4-4-2. That would be really, really nice. Can you imagine him and Iniesta with those high ball control stats? That's really going to allow you to, keep hold of the ball, and it's going to be very hard to dispossess either of those players. Next up is Danzo. I believe this is one created by Konami. You can see there he's got good defensive prowess. His ball winning is a little bit lower than I'd like, so it's something you may want to consider training if you were to buy him. But he's got good speed and explosive power for a defender. He's going to deal with even the quickest strikers, so that shouldn't be a problem. He's got no player skills, but he is an absolute giant at 190 centimeters and 89 kilograms. So he's going to hold off, even the toughest of strikers. So Werner, this is obviously he's one of the players you signed generally the first season. He's now 29 years old. He's still got his speed and explosive power, where compared to Rashford, who's sort of dipped off, which we'll have a look at in a bit anyway. But you can see there he's still got his attacking prowess. So he's still a threat, and that finishing is 86. So it's really, he's still a good finisher. I've never really enjoyed actually using him, probably because of his fairly low ball control and dribbling stats. That's probably why I couldn't get the best out of him. Donnarumma, fantastic young goalkeeper that a lot of people sign, I know. So his goalkeeping and goalkeeping catching could be higher, so you may want to just train that. But that form stat as well, that's really, really key. So that's really good. And he's 196 centimeters, so he's he's going to look pretty dominant in goal when facing those one-on-one situations. Next up is Cristiano Ronaldo, 40 years old, 185 centimeters, and he's still going to be a goal machine. Look at that finishing, 90, ball control. He's got no problems like dealing with the ball coming into the box. Kicking power is good as well as his jumping and heading stats. So, and attacking power. So, you know, he's not going to run away from anyone with only 80 speed and 75 explosive power. So I wouldn't train him as a goal poacher. I don't know what he's trained up as here. It's not going to show me. Oh no, prolific winger. So I would probably make him a fox in the box if I was going to train him now, you know, towards the end of his career, because he's not going to run away from people. He's not going to play on the last shoulder of the last defender. So you just want to maybe set him as a fox in the box, get those crosses in, and he's still going to be a devastating force in the box. Next up is Cliver. So with Cliver, you know, he's one of those players that a lot of people were excited about when PES 2019 was released, and seeing how good he was going to be. And look at this. He's got good speed, explosive power, decent dribbling. Ball control's a little low for my liking, and he's only got 80 stamina, so you may have to take him off. Also, his form stat's not the greatest, being only 4. So he's going to be one of those players that has a good game one week and then has a bad game the next week. So, you know, might be an ideal bench replacement. Now, Joaquim is a regen at 21 years old. Speed 87, explosive power 87, dribbling and ball control, all key stats there. He is really, really good, but what really sets him apart is the amount of skills he's got, and more importantly, that pinpoint crossing. Love that. That's a really good stat to have. And look at those swerve stats and also lofted pass. So his crossing ability is insane. So really good. You know, he's going to be able to provide some really good delivery into the box. And talking of delivery into the box, I mean, there's not many strikers better than in the air with his high attacking prowess, his good heading ability, his jumping, and his height of 182 centimeters than Adariz. He's a regen at 21 years old. And look at that form, 7 for form. He's really, really good and can be relied on. His dribbling stats aren't the best, so he is literally going to be another fox in the box. Pellegrini, here he is. Now, he's got great stats, but I just couldn't get him to work for me. I think it's probably because of his low dribbling ability, which really stifles his play, so he's literally going to be a man in the box. But even though with his attacking prowess being 88, he just didn't seem to make the right runs for me. I'm not sure why it didn't work out, but that form stat 3 is probably why he didn't feature as much as I'd like him to when I loaned him from Monaco. Next up is Mbappe. So you can see there his speed's dropped right off. He's 27 years old. His explosive power is still high, so he's still a threat, but perhaps not as good as when you first get him in the first 2 or 3 seasons. So you may look to offload him before too long. Next up is Neymar. Thank you, PSG. I'm a Manchester United fan if you didn't know. And yeah, so his speed 83, it's not brilliant, but that explosive power and those dribbling stats and ball control mean he is still one of the best left wing forwards in my opinion. He's got unbelievable skills that you can perform, especially that high ball control and all those skills listed there. And he's got a really good form stat as well, being 7, but his stamina is not the greatest, so you may find you have to replace him around the 75th minute. Dani Alves, probably one of the best right backs as a regen, only 20 years old. His form stat's not the greatest for a first team, first teamer, but generally great stats all over his ability sheet. And one of the ones that's really key is that pinpoint crossing again. He's even got rising shots, so you may have scored the odd worldie with him. But probably the best right back at this age. Then we got Lincoln. I really like this guy actually. His form stat's not the greatest, being only 4. But looking at his speed and explosive power, not bad for explosive power, but his speed's pretty good. So he's going to take a little bit of, you're not going to be able to look at those sort of long through balls and expect him to be really, really quick off the mark. But once he's got his speed up with him, 90 speed, 89 speed's pretty good. as well as the main key stat is 88 for attacking prowess. So yeah, decent player, decent finishing, maybe a good sub to have on the bench, and he's got good jumping and heading. Leon Bailey, a lot of people say to sign him. He's never really worked out for me. I think it's because of his ball controls, only 81. I like to perform a lot of skills rather than use the pure speed. But, you know, speed, explosive power, unwavering balance, dribbling, all good stats there. Again, his stamina's pretty low. Decent form. And he's got knuckle shot as well. And pinpoint crossing. So, but his lofted pass is 75. And his swerve's 82. So those crossing ability is pretty decent, to be fair. But he's never really worked out for me. Pulisic is fantastic. He's really good. He's 27 years old. Still got really good stats. 90 speed, 94 explosive power. That dribbling stat's really high, and that ball control's really high as well. You know, he's not got the greatest delivery with lofted pass only 71, so you may just look to like cross it low into the box using the double tap of the lob pass button. Next up, Larea. I think he's, judging by the look on his face, I think that's a Konami regen or Konami creation. Good form stats there, 6 for form. And then looking at these stats here, massive. Look at that physical contact. That's absolutely massive. 95. He's got good kicking power. I mean, that's a pretty useless stat. So his overall stats going to be boosted or bolstered by that, which is a bit useless. Heading, yeah, it's an okay stat to have as a defender. It's not ideal. That's mainly for scoring goals, not for anything else. Defensive prowess is pretty good, but that ball winning is the real key for me. Is 87, and his height 190 centimeters and 83 kilograms. So he's a bit of a unit. Talisca, now this guy, I know like when everyone starts the season, I believe he's a free transfer, so I recommend picking him up if he is a free transfer in your Master League. Sometimes he's at, I believe it's Shanghai, but if he is a free transfer, definitely pick him up. And one of the key roles, you know, he's got, his stats aren't all that great. If you look at his stats, his attacking prowess is good, place kicking and swerve stats are high, and finishing, but all the rest are pretty pointless. Like place kicking, swerve, heading, kicking power. You know, the key stats for an attacking midfielder, the typical attacking midfielder, would be explosive power, dribbling, ball control. You know, maybe kicking power would be nice to score the odd long range shot, but he actually does play really well considering. And his form stats really high, so he's going to feature quite a lot. And one of the things for me, I don't know if I can see it in this window. Yes, he's got the team role as a playmaker. Now that's going to boost your team spirit quite massive, especially when he gets to level 3. It's going to boost it significantly. So, you know, that role is really, really good. Savage up next. So we're looking at, you know, he's not the quickest. I've signed him in the past and he hasn't been the best, and I think it's because of his explosive power. He's really, really sluggish to move around the field. You know, again, he's got a bit of a useless stat there in terms of heading, but he is a tall player. He's 192 centimeters, so he was going to win those goal kicks, and he's also got form, which is 7, so he's going to be able to feature in your team quite regularly if that's who you want. He's got good ball control, but generally the rest of the stats are pretty average for a midfielder. Lionel Messi, 38 years old, still got that form stat of 7, but look at that stamina, 65. That's really, really bad. So you may want to play counter target on him, like you do, or like you should be from the minute you get him or start playing him, because his stamina is generally quite low. Looking at his explosive power and speed, they've really diminished. So you may want to stick him in that attack midfield role, because those stats aren't all that key. But you know, the explosive power is probably the key one out of those. But he's still got really good ball controls. So that means he's going to be able to operate in tight spaces between defense and attack, as well as that finishing 92. So you know, you'll be able to take the long range shot every now and again. Malcolm up next. A lot of people that sign this player on the first season generally from Real Madrid, or for Real Madrid from Barcelona. if you're at Real Madrid, you know, he acts as a nice backup for Bale. But yeah, generally speaking, explosive power is 83. It's not brilliant now. His stats have really diminished. 77 for speed. But his ball control is pretty good. But, you know, he's not that great for 28 years old. He's got stats in pretty much the wrong positions that bolster his overall stat. And this is why I say don't look at the overall stat when you come here. Don't just go, oh, he's an 85, I'm going to buy him. Really do look at the actual attributes that they've got, because you're going to look at this player and go, cool, he's 85, that's pretty good. But when you look at him, he's not all that special, so maybe not one to keep an eye on. But certainly when you first start, the first 2 or 3 seasons, he's pretty good. But after that, you may want to look to offload him. On to Modric. So he's a regen at 18 years old. This is his stats. Pretty good all over the pitch. Another, if I was going to have 2 people in midfield, central midfield, it'd be Iniesta and Modric. I mean, they've got great explosive power, good ball control, good low passing, lofted passing. You can be able to control the game. Now, left wing forward, Vinicius Jr., 90 speed, 91 acceleration or explosive power. Finishing 82, dribbling 88, ball control 87. So, his stamina's not the greatest, 77, so you may have to look to sub him, depending where you play him and what you expect of him in his role. But you may have to replace him around the 75th minute. Form stats pretty decent, 5, not too bad. But generally a pretty good player to have on that left wing forward position. Antoine Griezmann, he is now 34 years old, 75 stamina, but he's still got that form stat at 7, so that's really good. He's going to be able to feature quite prominently. But you can see there, his explosive power and speed's diminished. You may want to stick him in that similar role to, like I said with Messi, stick him in that attacking midfield role, because he's still got good ball control, good dribbling, and he can still pick a pass. Next up is Golovin. So he doesn't seem to develop all that much if you left him at another club. Explosive power 80, speed 83. Looking at the dribbling and low pass stats, not too bad. Nothing special, but good form, so he's going to feature quite often. And he's got decent height for a midfielder, because the last thing you want is a bunch of midgets like Iniesta and Modric. No, even though I don't care, I would still pick those 2 over anyone else. Harrett, I mean, he doesn't seem to develop all that much. He seems to have the same stats pretty much all the way through a season. Well, since 2025, I don't think he looks much different from the first season, if I recollect correctly. So look at the ball control stats, pretty good, as well as the explosive power and unwavering balance. Physical contact's a bit weak, so you may not want to sign him for the Premier League or the Belgium League, as those 2 leagues are probably the most physical. But yeah, he's got plenty of player skills, and with that high ball control, you're going to be able to execute those pretty well. Now, this is why I was surprised actually with Mo Salah. He's 33 years old, and he's still got decent explosive power and speed, dribbling, and ball control. So, you can probably hang on to him for a little while yet, even when he's 33 years old. Foden, I mean, this guy, 25 years old now. His form's only 4, so he's going to be in and out of the team, I would say. He's going to have one good game, then a bad game. But generally, look at that unwavering balance. He's going to be hard to shove off the ball. Decent ball control stats, low pass, and explosive power. So he's got all the right stats from midfielder. I would say he makes a nice backup if I was going to play Modric and Iniesta. Similar sort of player build. Lopez, this is a player that caught my eye. Not the best stats, but I don't know. I just quite like his explosive power and speed being the same. Unwavering balance, ball control, and dribbling. Next up is Danny. He's probably the best attacking midfielder when he's a reborn, as you can see there. Or regen. He's only 19 years old, and decent form, but the dribbling and ball control, explosive power and speed are absolutely killers from that attacking midfield role. He scored plenty of goals for me when I was at Club Bruges, and he's still there. Definitely recommend picking him up. Simeone, I didn't actually sign him, but I played against him in the Europa League as Feyenoord, and he really caught my eye. Good attacking prowess, good heading, decent speed stats, explosive power, good jumping. So he's a real threat from the air, but he's actually good on the ground. Good with his good with when the ball's on the ground as well. Good. He's got good quick feet. So yeah, he's a pretty decent player. First time shot as well, so great for those first time crosses. Mertens, I found him to be a little bit lightweight as a centre forward with that only physical contact being 60. But I found him really, really good just on the left wing forward position. He could really definitely play a role there. Just cutting in off the left, using his agility, that explosive power and speed and dribbling skills. Absolutely killed defenders numerous times last season for Feyenoord. Great form stat as well, so he's always generally on form. And he's got tons of skills as well. No look passes, which is a nice. It's a nicety. It's not something I would say, oh yeah, need that or need to train that on a player. But it looks good when they pull it off. Next up is Keane, one of the best centre forwards in the game, I would say. He's got good physical contact, good stats generally all round. The explosive power 86, speed 83, finishing 83, and then attacking prowess 83. So, he's got stats in all the right positions, and he's got that high stamina, so he's going to be able to maintain his stamina over numerous games, as well as that form as well. I believe I trained Scissor Feint and Marseille turn on him, if I rightly remember. But yeah, he's another good striker. Kimpembe, thank you for the penalty, dude. That's the only reason I kept him in this list. Ned Stark, I'm sure his name's not Ned, but this is a Konami regen. 190 centimeters, 81 kilograms. So he's a big tool unit. He's quick as well, and look at that defensive prowess. That's a real key stat for me. 91 as a defender, and he's also got the ability to play it out from the defense with 82 for low pass. Next up is left wing forward. Brilliant regen here. If you like doing skills, he hasn't got the greatest stamina, so you will have to probably sub him on the 60th or 70th minute because he loses effectiveness. But to start a game, 98 dribbling, 89 ball control, explosive power and unwavering balance really high. Not the best physical contact, but he's fine on that left wing because no one's going to get close to him when you start pulling skills off. And he's just a fabulous player to use if you like performing skills. You can see all the skills listed there. Nketiah, now this is a real good signing. I believe Tyler in my stream asked me to sign him, and I did. I'd signed him for Club Bruges, and he was an absolute live wire, even when his stats weren't all that good. And now look at him. He's got 90 speed, 93 explosive power, 93 unwavering balance, jump 92, decent finishing, decent attacking prowess. So he's one of these players that definitely, could come off the bench and do the business. And eventually starting some games for me. So a nice underrated player to, like a little hidden gem that you may want to keep an eye out for. Antonio Martial, or Anthony Martial. I just thought I'd leave him in here just to get a good idea of, you can see his sort of stats have stayed more or less the same since the first season. Slightly diminished, but still very, very good. Marcus Rashford. Like I said, his speed and explosive power have dipped at the age of 28, so you may want to look to offload him when he's like 26, 27 and find a replacement if you rely on speed. A lot of people tell me to sign Dolberg, so I was looking at Dolberg and I was thinking, well, how much has he developed? Not all that much, and I probably wouldn't recommend signing him. A lot of people do say to sign him, but I've checked him out, and yeah, he hasn't been great for me. Lozano, a really good young player in the first couple of seasons, but now he's 30 years old. He's really diminished. That explosive power dropping below his speed is a bit of a killer for me, as well as his ball control stats and dribbling. It's not bad, but not great. Someone I definitely wouldn't look at now. Lewandowski, I thought, let's have a look at him. He's 37 years old now. Stamina is really diminished, but the strikers don't do all that much running, so you shouldn't really need to worry about that as a centre forward. But look at that form stat, it's 7. So he's going to be on form. He's going to feature quite prominent if he's in your starting 11. Looking at the, his speed and explosive power, hopeless. So don't train him as a goal poacher. Make sure he's a fox in the box. Finishing 92, heading 80, and attacking prowess. So literally, maybe he might be like a good sub now to come off the bench. Maybe train him as a super sub to get that additional boost to those stats. But yeah, he's still going to be a threat, but not ideal for a starting lineup. Upamecano. So really big strong defender, great stats there, great speed, explosive powers. He's going to be really agile on the ball. His defensive powers isn't great, or his ball winning, but he's got good physical contact and jumping ability. So you should just be able to muscle players off using that super cancel just by running into them. Burak Yilmaz, fantastic for me at Feyenoord. Unbelievable amount of goals and assists in his last season that he played for me. He's now 20 years old, 81 for stamina, decent form for 5. But that explosive power being really high, that makes him really agile. He's got decent physical contact as well. Be able to hold that ball up and bring others into play. He's got decent kicking power. If you saw my last my season finale with Feyenoord, he scored a beauty of a knuckle shot. He has actually got that knuckle shot in his skill tree. Good finishing, good attacking prowess. Definitely recommend signing him. Barzagli, probably one of the best defenders in the game at the minute. 81 speed, 79 explosive power, ball winning 91, defensive prowess 89. Absolutely fantastic being for me. 17 years old, 6 for form as well. Absolute rock at the back. Man marking, interception, acrobatic clear, fighting spirit, all good stuff to have as a defender. Ronnie Lopez, he didn't really work out for me when I signed him at Dortmund. But he's still got good stats. I think he'd probably be better off as a false winger maybe. He's got decent stats across the board, but nothing really standing out and sort of jumping at you. It's that physical contact probably that didn't work for me. He was just far too easy to knock off the ball. And 76 stamina, so you generally have to take him off around the 75th minute. But decent form stat there. Robin van Persie, he's a regen at 19 years old. Decent stamina for a 19-year-old, 69. You know, that is going to increase quite rapidly. And he's got some decent stats. And later on, he will become an unbelievable striker. Louis Adriano. Now, he doesn't have the best stats, but my word, this guy is insanely good. Doesn't look, like I said, doesn't look the best stats, but seriously, give him a try. Check him in your team. He's only got a form stat of 4, so he'll be sort of in and out of your team. But for me, he was incredible. If you've been watching my streams, just sign him and you'll get a feel for him. And yeah, it's really, really good. Demir, I mean, this guy was brilliant for me in my Feyenoord season. The amount of times he'd come off the bench, or I'd stick him on the wing, he'd cut in and score an unbelievable goal numerous times. You know, not the best stats, but he's only 16 and he's only going to get better. 89 for speed, 90 explosive power, 87 for dribbling, and 187 is in height. So that's all really good. Jardel, I believe, he's a regen, 20 years old, 192 centimeters. So really tall defender, great form stats there. I may sign him for my new Real Madrid team, as he's got great speed and explosive power. So he's going to be able to catch up with even the quickest of strikers. Not the best defensive prowess, but you know, that's something you could probably train. Diaz from Real Madrid, you know, starts off as a decent young player, and he pretty much holds those stats pretty similar to what he started off with. Nothing all that special. Okay, so that's the list that I quickly put together. Now, just very quickly, let's have a look at the top players in the world. Font is now the best goalkeeper in the world according to this, and probably the best player in the world. He's up there with Sarr. So you can see that there's no 90, 91 or above. Everyone else is around this 90 mark, which is quite interesting. And you know, Edison surpassed De Gea. That'll ever happen. But yeah, I'll just give you a rough idea of the top players. A lot of people say sign Labate, but that stamina is just absolutely useless. It's no good to anyone. And he hasn't got the greatest finishing, 80. But that stamina, he's useless after about 20 minutes in the first half and about 20 minutes in the second half. Before that, he's effective, so you know, he's a good super sub. Maybe that might be something that's actually, if you're going to sign him, you know, train him up to be a super sub. But yeah, that is pretty much it, ladies and gents. So the last thing I just want to cover is the actual release fee of Ronaldo and Messi. So 125 million for a 40-year-old Ronaldo. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but hey, if that's what tickles your fancy, then go for it. Let me just see if I can find Messi very quickly. He must be he's dropped down quite considerably. There we go, £137 million for a 38-year-old Lionel Messi. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments. If there's any players that you'd like to see. In fact, while I mentioned that, there's Pav on there as well. You know, decent stats, good explosive power, speed. Nothing really like jumping out at me. You know, his overall's boosted by that kicking power and those swerve stats. Average dribbling, average ball control. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I do apologise, it's been 30 minutes. I didn't realise it was going to be quite that long. But once I get talking, that's me sorted. Actually, I was just before I finish, just before I go, I wanted to run through my top 11 players. So in goal, I was going to go for Font. Right back, Dani Alves. Centre back, Pepe. I don't think I covered Pepe off. Let me just quickly find him. It's going to be up here somewhere. There we go. There's Pepe. Defensive prowess, ball winning, speed, explosive power, physical contact, jumping. And look at that form stat, 8. So he's basically going to play every single game. Providing he doesn't get injured, because he only got an injury resistance of 2. But no, really, really good stats. Heading, man marking, interception, acrobatic clear, captaincy, fighting spirit. All good stats there. So yeah, my starting 11 for 2025. Font in goal, Dani Alves at right back, Pepe at centre back, Barzagli at centre back, Sessegnon at left back, Iniesta and Modric in the central midfield area, Dani in the attacking midfield area. Left wing forward is a toss-up between Robinho and Mertens. Maybe play Robinho and then bring Mertens on for the second half, because Robinho's stamina is not the greatest. Right midfield, right wing forward, I would go for Di Maria. And then up front, either Keane, Weah or Luis Adriano, and I would go for Luis Adriano. There we are, guys. I do apologise for the multiple endings. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you again. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.